I just got back from 3D Printopia and I had a great time. If you've never been there, it's definitely worth the trip. It's a great time to connect with people you've chatted with online, see some of your favorite content creators, and see what's new in the 3D printing world. Now, I have a project I'm just wrapping up. This abandoned house by PA1 Maker. It's a great model, and it's just in time for Halloween. Now, if you're not familiar with PA1 Maker, you should check out his Patreon page. He has a lot of great models, some of the best I've ever seen. Now, back to the project. I have most of the parts printed and glued together, but I didn't have a decent looking color for adding boarded up windows. I didn't want to use just a plain wood filament, something with a filler. Basic PLA is what I was after. Now, I found this matte wood PLA by Ziro, no wood filler. The color looks to be what I'm after, so I bought it and I thought I would give it a try. I've never tried this brand of filament before, so I'm kind of curious about how it'll do for me. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by Ziro. I bought and paid for this filament. Now, I don't think I've ever reviewed a filament before. I usually just crack open the box, dial it in, and print away. What made me stop and decide to review this filament was this line right here on the box. An extra reseal bag for storing used filament. I've never come across that before, and my thinking is that they are taking that extra step. They feel strongly that they make a great product. So let's open up the box and take a look at the filament. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fixed dry unit for maybe an hour, hour and a half. It's just something I do with all of my filament when I first open it. You have no idea how long it may have sat on the shelf at the factory before being sealed. Now the packaging does look good. The vacuum seal is still nice and tight. I've had some filament where this was all loose, and that's telling me that the packaging was leaking, and it's a candidate for damp filament. Oh, nice. I really like that they included a sample and some filament cleaner. Nice, nice touch. Let's see what else we got. And we got the resealable bag. So, in all, we got nicely packaged material. We got a sample. This one here is macaron. Looks to be a two-tone. Got to try that out. And we have some filament cleaner along with the resealable bag. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this up, load it on the K1 Max back here. And since I've never used this brand of filament, I'm going to go ahead and do a few calibrations and set up a new material profile. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm Bill, and this is Pushing Plastic. Okay, so I am set up on my K1 Max, and my material profile, I'm going to start with my free mover PLA. Now, I have that one dialed in pretty good, and I'm just going to use that as my baseline. My baseline for the free mover PLA was the generic PLA that came with Creality Print. So if you don't already have a PLA profile that you want to start with the generic and build upon it. So I'm going to go ahead and start by clicking on File, New Project, just to clear out any old settings I might have laying around. And then I'm going to click the Creality icon in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going right to Calibration and Temperature. And I'm going to keep all that the same. Ziro recommends a print range of 190 to 220. I'm going to let my temperature tower tell me what to print to. So let's go ahead and just print this off and see what we got. What other? All right, well, it's looking pretty clean from top to bottom. The one thing I will say is under the lights right now, it looks a lot paler than it really is. I mean, the color actually looks really nice. I am impressed with what I'm seeing. Now, coming up from the bottom, 230 is definitely out. Seeing some fuzz there. Same with 225 and 220. 215 is looking pretty clean. 210 doesn't look too bad either. Starting to break up a little bit at 205. Not a whole lot, but since 215 it seems to be where it starts off looking really good, I'm going to go with 215 on this. Let me know what you think about that choice in the comments. All right, so let's update the profile and keep moving. First thing I want to do is come over here and I'm going to click on the PLA icon. And I'm going to hit the pencil icon so I can go into edit. First thing I want to do is find my temperatures. And I'm going to change that to 215 based off of what I found on my temperature tower. And I'm going to do that for the first layer and all other layers. I'm going to hit save. When this comes up, save the preset. I am going to call that Ziro Matte PLA. That'll give me a whole new profile to work with. Hit OK. Close this out. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to set up a flow rate test. So let's go to File, New Project. Okay, so we have a new profile, but we have to set it. Come back up here to our filament. I'm going to click on the PLA. You can see it's still at my free mover profile. I got to set that to my new profile of Ziro Matte PLA. I'll go ahead and I'll click that. And now what I'm going to do is a calibration and get my flow rate. Just hit flow and do part 1 of the part 2. I'm going to do both of them, but obviously start with part 1. And let's go ahead and print this. Okay, so in addition to the temperature tower and the flow rate, I also ran a pressure advance test and a max volumetric flow rate calibration. And that's it. That's all I did with this. And I went right to the boarded up windows, printed them out, and as you can see on the bed plate, they came out perfect. No stringing, no over extruding, no under extruding. I can't say enough about it. When I'm looking at the individual pieces here, I thought I would see some stringing between each board or on the bed plate, at least from piece to piece. But they came out great. I honestly can't say enough about this. The way it worked out for me with simple calibrations. I put them on my model, and as you can see, the windows with the boards on it makes it pop. I mean, the color is perfect. I love what I saw with this filament. I wish I could say something bad. I really wish I could say something bad. I did go back hoping to find something that I could fix. So I ran a benchy. Not everybody's favorite model. It has its purposes. I do them all the time with new filament, new printers. But I went ahead and I did this benching. I'm not seeing any stringing. I'm not seeing any layer separation. No, like I said, no over extruding, no under extruding. It looks great. I hope you found the information useful. If you did, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Smash that bell to be alerted to new information in the future. Live your life one layer at a time. And if you haven't done it yet, please consider subscribing.